Hi everybody, this video showcases how to get started with the JBoss EAP and XP application development based on Helm chart. This video showcases how to simplify application deployment based on JBoss EAP and XP for specific use cases and deploy to OpenShift container platform. Let's get started. Okay, here is our demo scenario today. So we're going to use one simple data transaction application named to-do application, which allows developer to transaction a database like a PostgreSQL, as you can see. And then we're going to use runtime JBoss EAP, also JBoss EAP XP for enterprise microprofile specification, as well as lightweight Java enterprise application development. So there are several ways to deploy Java enterprise application on JBoss EAP using template or operator. But today I'm going to review more focus on the developer perspective, how to create the JBoss EAP runtime with the Helm chart. So Helm is a software package manager, which allows developer to simplify application deployment on Kubernetes cluster. We're going to use OpenShift container platform because OpenShift already provide Helm chart capability, and there are two Helm charts, JBoss EAP and JBoss EAP XP. So Helm basically uses a packaging format which is called charts. The Helm chart is a collection of files which describes Kubernetes resources or OpenShift manifesto like a deployment, build config, and an image specification, etc. So when you run the Helm chart on the cluster, the new release is created every single time the chart is installed in the cluster. So Helm is pretty simpler to specify application runtime like a JBoss EAP rather than generate template or create a CR for operator. So developers are able to packaging and share their application with the chart and then deploy to Kubernetes and OpenShift container platform without any complex creating CR or template generation. Okay, here's my OpenShift 4a cluster. I actually already incorporate the Helm report to showcase JBoss EAP and JBoss EAP XP Helm chart on developer console on OpenShift container platform. It will be incorporated to OpenShift dev console soon enough. Alright, you're going to get started, build your application or add a page to add a Helm chart, but let's try to add a new building application and then search EAP. You can find the two different Helm chart. So we're going to use EAP XP first. So the release name EAP XP3, you can use a Perm view or YAML view. I just use a YAML view. I just copy from my cheat sheet to specify our build specification, and mode is a bootloader jar because I'm going to deploy bootloader jar running on JBoss EAP. I change the deployed application is 1, and this application actually required to connect to database and PostgreSQL. So that's why I specify database name, password, something like that. Okay, once I install the Helm chart, it will be take some moment to finish the installation. In the meantime, we're gonna add a new database here, like a PostgreSQL with the same database username and password service name, like a todo-db. And then we needed to create the new database. And so once database is up, we can change it, the label like a PostgreSQL to showcase nice PostgreSQL icon. So once we're done, and then you just connect to between application to database on your topology view. So maybe you can find the image pullback of your pod running, but don't worry about that. Actually, when you go to Helm chart release note, you can find the reason why you see image error pull or image pullback off during the application build. So when you go to build menu and take a look at the actual logs, what happened behind the scenes, and the build process actually clone the Git report, the actual to-do application, and packaging based on Maven, build tool, and then containerizing application. So when you go back to build logs, you can find the necessary dependency, keep downloading, and then we're gonna packaging this application based on Maven build. And then once the build success, the next step we containerize this application before we deploy in a worker nodes. And then once you can see the push is successful, which means that this application container pushed into internal container registry. All right, it's already running. Now let's try to take a look at that. This application actually running on a bootloader jar because we're going to use the EAP XP extension. So EAP 7.4, and then when you go up to logs in EAP, you can find the actual running jar file here, the to-do backend bootloader jar. So this is one of the benefits when you use EAP XP to make your application as a bootloader jar, just like a Microsoft application. So when you click on route URL and to endpoint, and then there is no data at this moment. So let's try to go to the end client and paste in our route URL and then try to add a new to-do list, something like create a new demo, like an EAP XP demo, what I'm doing now. And also let's try to add one more to-do list for me, update cloud enable workshop stuff. So once you edited your to-do list, whatever you need, and then go back to endpoint application, you can find all this just save your database. And you can also using call command to access the endpoint. This is exactly return your actual database here. Okay, here is the way how to deploy JBoss EAP with the Java Enterprise application as a bootloader jar using Helm chart. Okay, let's move on next demo. So we're gonna deploy one more to-do application, but not gonna use JBoss EAP XP, but just a general EAP runtime. So just go back to add and click on Helm chart and install new Helm chart JBoss EAP, not XP. So change the YAML view, and I just copy all specification YAML file from my cheat sheet. And one main different thing is you can find the module S2I, and then we use Gallium packaging feature. So as you see, we're going to use a cloud server and the PostgreSQL data source. And then here just specify the PostgreSQL. And then here's the PostgreSQL username, password. We already used that. And one more thing, we're going to replicate 3 because we already used the cloud server Gallium feature pack to replication this JBoss EAP. Okay, so I just install. It takes some time to finish that. In the meantime, let's try to connect to this EAP server to PostgreSQL. As you see, there are 3 pods. It's already initiated. And then go to the build logs. As you can see, the first time we're gonna clone the application and then Maven build. And the next step is packaging and push it into internal registry. Once we're done, there are one small different thing versus EAP XP. The EAP actually have 2 different build images. One is a builder and the other is a runtime. That's why you can see 2 different builder configuration. So the previously we just build application. The next time is we're gonna build actual runtime container image. As you see, there's no Maven build, but just packaging, and we did the runtime image and push it into registry. And once we're done, the 3 EAP pod will be pulling down to available worker. Once the EAP is running, you can go to EAP runtime logs. You can find the EAP 7.4 is started properly. Okay, so the 3 pod is almost ready to receive the request. When you go to route URL, there's nothing in there in the JBoss EAP with the PostgreSQL. And then try to access the client web UI and put in some to-do list, like create a new EAP, Helm demo, and also let's say write a new blog post about EAP XP. And last thing is that we're gonna upgrade the Quarkus workshop. This is all my actual to-do list. Okay, I just put in the 3 to-do list, and I just done EAP Helm demo here, and then you can just call endpoint in EAP XP application. You can find the 3 results. So one result is the complete Boolean is actually true, which because I already complete that data. You can also go to Helm menu in the developer perspective. You can have a two release chart and you can actually upgrade your existing Helm chart, like a change image or change build config or change deployment. And also you can roll back or uninstall your existing Helm chart. Here's a quick summary about this demo. You can just run how to use a Helm chart to deploy EAP application runtime, to packaging and deploy your existing Java Enterprise application. You actually two different choices to deploy EAP with XP for bootable jar, as well as you can micro profile specification like a fault tolerance and a compilation and the RESTful API, etc. You can also deploy JBoss EAP as traditional way. Previously, you used template or operator, but developer perspective is pretty much a simpler way to use JBoss EAP Helm chart for application deployment. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of the day.